Okay, so my lesson is over physical and chemical change. Of course, we'll go over the standard first. We'll be saying the standard aloud. Matter and its interactions differentiate between changes caused by heating or cooling that can be reversed and those that cannot. And the objectives, which is the student will identify the differences between heating and cooling changes. They'll be able to tell whether the change has occurred is reversible or not, and to differentiate between a chemical and physical change. The academic vocabulary: cooling, heating, melting, liquid, gas, solid, temperature, chemical, physical, color, and shape. Okay, here is where my introduction begins. I'll start off with an attention grabber. I'll be like, hey guys, watch my ice cube, please. And then I'll take a couple of seconds, and after that, I'll flip to the next slide. And from there, I'll go to the next slide. Wait a minute. What happened to my ice cube? It's melted now. What happened? And that's when I'll explain to them that something has happened so that this change can occur. And I'll tell them that this is what an example of a physical change looks like. Then from that point, we'll go on to some more examples of physical change. Stuff like cookie crumbling, pencil breaking, things of that nature. After that, I'll do another one. It's like, hey, watch these logs for me. I'll be right back. Just watch them just for a second for me. And then I'm going to flip to the next side. Like, again, something happened again. What happened that caused this change? And we all know that fire made this change. And I'll explain that to the students and explain them that it's a chemical change that has occurred. And then I also give them more examples of chemical changes. Alright, from that point, we'll go into the YouTube video, which that's the link right there. And then we'll go after the video and do a little game. They'll write a P beside, and this is a part of the we do. The beginning was the I do. This is a we do. They write a P beside anything that's a physical change and a C beside anything that's a chemical change. And for their for their you do, they'll do the exit ticket independently. They'll read this passage, and they'll be able to tell me which part of this passage is the physical change and which portion is the chemical change. And they'll be able to write that in the chat where I can keep a record of it. Also, at the end of the lesson, they'll be assigned a worksheet that they'll be able to turn in later virtually. So that's a part of the summative assessment. It is not attached, but it is attached to my lesson plan.